Reboot here, and so we're going to hit it up for another half an hour this week and hopefully give you some great information. Why are we here for the reboot? Well, me and the crew here, we are the Reboot crew. I love saying that, guys. It just never gets more fun than saying that. And we're the Reboot crew. If I could just get it to roll off the tongue, that'd be great. And what we're here to do is we're all entrepreneurs, we're all business owners, and what we're here to do is to try to help you as a business owner evaluate decisions that you have or haven't made, whether they're good decisions or bad decisions, and essentially reboot on them your decision-making process. So, it's just an opportunity to kind of revisit things, whether it's technology, marketing, sales, accounting, business management, so on and so on. We all struggle with the same business challenges. And so we're here to help you reevaluate your decisions or evaluate your decisions if you haven't yet. So, with the Reboot, my name is Jim Gass, and I'm with Splicing Consulting here out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Brian Bracci from B&L PC Solutions on Long Island in New York.
Hi, I'm Dave Groot with WinStar Technologies, currently in the middle of a fire alarm in Nashville, Tennessee.
We can't hear Stephanie. Stephanie, we can't hear you. That's all right.
Oh, we lost Stephanie.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
go
okay.
real quick.
Stephanie, did Dave want to introduce Stephanie? Yeah, they got a hi, Stephanie. We see you. All right, Brandon, go for it, man.
Sure. Brandon Bowers with Zentech Data Systems. We're down here in sunny South Florida.
All right, Stephanie, go. Oh, we heard you.
Hey, I'm Stephanie Groot, WinStar Technologies.
David? No volume either there. This is live. I mean, this is just how it happens sometimes in a live situation.
All the IT guys having trouble with IT. It's kind of
We're
funny.
having technical difficulties. Here,
Yeah.
I'll let him talk to you through my camera.
Yeah, you said live with a fire alarm behind you.
Right next to each other. David Luft with LDD Consulting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, also in the middle of a fire alarm.
Just so you know, everyone, these guys, they're in Nashville. I'm going to be in Nashville probably in the next 6 or 7 hours myself. We all are a member of a group out of Nashville, and so we have a meeting down there once a quarter. And so they're already down there. They're waiting for me to get down there so we can go out and have some dinner and have some fun, right? You got it, Stephanie. I'm on my way. So today, guys, I know we're having a fire alarm, so participate as you want to. Don't worry about it. This is live, and that's just what happens. Today, we're going to talk about work from home productivity, right? It's like really kind of like the topic right now. Work from home. COVID's not gone away completely, and kids' sports are kind of in the air, right? And kids get sick or they get quarantined because somebody else got COVID at the school or in their athletic groups, right? So I'd say a lot of people are working from home right now. And the question I have for everyone to start off with, and we can kind of go around the world here. Brian, how long have you been working from home? Looks like you might be actually in the office. Have you been working from home or any of your staff been working from home, and for how long?
Yeah, well, I never stopped coming to the office. I'm about 10 minutes away from my house, and I'm honestly not set up. And it's a good conversation to have. I'm not set up to work from home. I can't have the same productivity I have in the office. But staff was home for probably close to 2 months when everything went down, and we've had everybody back. We just moved our office in August, and we've had everybody back in the office now probably since mid-July. And it's been great. We got plenty of space and, gone down, and there's a lot of changes in that. And they're a lot more receptive to that remote support, and, they're seeing changes in their own environment. So they're, ready. They're adapting easily to what we're proposing. But we do still have clients that want those site visits, and we're doing those as well. Just taking those extra precautionary steps and making sure everybody's safe.
Dave Groot, are you able to chime in? How long have you guys been working from home? What are you guys up to with that?
Well, the good news is the fire alarm is off for the moment. We have been fortunate in that we did not need to go work from home, although we are completely configured to do so. We do have some remote staff, but for the most part, we remained in our office and productive. However, where we're seeing that happen mostly is with our clients, right? A lot of our clients are having to have their staff work from home, and we've spent quite a bit of time getting them configured and set up to do that safely, and try and build processes into, how to keep them included in the whole circle of the business, right? Because now everybody's kind of isolated. They're on their own island and they're away from the office. They're not interacting on a daily basis. That's basically where we're at right now.
Yeah. Stephanie, something to add to that?
Yeah, I'd say he's lying to you. I've kicked him out of the office a couple of times, so he's had to work from home a couple of times. But your work from home is wherever you want it to be. So, you don't have to be home. You could be on the beach somewhere, wherever you want to work.
I actually started coining the phrase "work from anywhere" back in the summertime because I knew that's what it would be. Brandon, what's going on with you?
As soon as COVID started, I let everybody work from home. I got to be honest with you, we don't have a ton of office space anyways, and we were already kind of outgrowing. And I was in a situation where I was ready to get a larger dedicated space for us because I wanted us all to be together all the time. But I'm kind of rethinking if we even want to do that because things are really working out pretty well, all of us working from home. Yeah, there's some caveats to that, and there's some things that we got to get used to doing or changes we have to make sure people are productive. I got feedback on that, but overall, it's been a pretty good experience. And I think across the board, what we hear from our clients too is they're really happy. Like they're surprised how productive they've been able to be and how things have worked for them, even though like the world has completely changed for them, right? So while COVID has been a bit of a nightmare, we've been okay in terms of the work from home situation, and I've heard a lot of positive feedback from our customers too about it.
We're going to keep you. See, I think a lot of us, the struggles and challenges. This conversation is about productivity, right? And the challenges of productivity. I think I want to keep you on this side of the conversation today, right? And talk about the positive aspects of the productivity because that's good. That's really good. I mean, I've heard productivity's up, better than it was expected, but I haven't heard it's been as high as it normally would be. David, is that similar to what you're hearing, or is it different?
I definitely think it's an opportunity for us to rework our business so that we can work from home, which just opens up additional avenues for us with employment and such. We started off, worked from home for a couple months, came back into the office because I'm still also learning how to work from home and manage employees. And I do expect next week we're probably going to start doing some more work from home again also, just because things are starting to spike in New Mexico.
Yeah, well, for me, I am the guy that could work from home as much as I want. I could work from my car. I can work from my kids' basketball game, my kids' cheerleading practice. That's how it's been for me for a long time. My staff, not so much, but they come into the office. During COVID, I was the guy that came into the office the whole time during COVID. There's nobody here, when I could have been at home. So now that it seems like a lot of people went back to work, I've went the opposite direction, and now I'm working from home more. And for me, I know you guys will relate to this because we're talking about me. My team likes it that way. They like me being out of the office. You know why?
I'm not asking that question.
Yeah, right. Don't ask that question. No, they know that they just want to get their job done. They don't want me to get in their way, right? And so we all worked from home during COVID, until maybe the middle of July, right? And then we started coming in doing the social distancing thing, and then I kind of stayed out. So
I think in our industry specifically, it's very easy for us to take those measurable tasks that are being done by your staff. Tickets are getting closed, work is being done, phone calls are being handled, emails are getting responded to. I can't say the same thing for our clients who have maybe some issues with their own employees working from home, but there's things we can do that we've been trying to do, and we still are, to make that task for them a lot easier and less grueling on whether it be management or peers, security, efficiency, and productivity. We could help improve those three things while working from home. Even our staff, when clients are calling in, generally we look at the phone, we see who it is, we know who it is, and we respond. During COVID, you're getting calls from 100 people's cell phones. We don't know any of these numbers. We don't know what the call is about, what it's in reference to. So so now one of our takeaways from it, and more so our clients, is how was I calling your office and getting your guys? How is your guys calling us and it's coming from your office? So we pushed out a VoIP campaign and said, listen, this is for what I guarantee you will save you money on your phones for what you're paying now, and you'll be able to. That work from home will literally be, no one will know the difference unless you have a dog or a kid in the background, which most people seem to enjoy anyway. So that presence is really important.
I want to mention two things on that. So it really depends on vertical, right? So like you said, for us, we have a clear measurable. If you're a service provider, hey, there's tickets closed. If you're an accounting firm, maybe it's billable hours though. Because I know a number of firms that we work with, I was talking with the managing partner and he's saying, hey, our billable hours are up versus where they were before. And we're seeing people are working at different hours, but it's flexible for them. As long as they're getting their work done, it's not a big deal. But I think the entire mindset in management, whether it doesn't matter what business you're in, but looking at the ways to manage your employees that are remote successfully and effectively. Because I know now we're completely remote, and it's not an overly different situation from before, but I still find myself now kind of being more micromanager than I should be. And so I'm trying to change the management style so I still have visibility of what we're doing, not just from a ticket standpoint, right? But so we're still getting the connections with our employees. We're still keeping that culture alive because we're not seeing each other as frequently. So we try to incorporate video into as much as we can do. And then there's, other systems to try and keep people I think that's the other thing. When people are at home, yeah, things are getting done, but you've got a lot of other door opens, kid runs in, you're just tired of sitting at home all the time because of COVID and you're locked in the house. So like, what are things you can do to keep people focused and productive in the situation? So we've been trying to think of ways to do that and try and engage our employees.
I tend to wonder also about the seasons. Like we went into spring and summer, and so that's a good time to be home and just having fun, kind of, and enjoyable. As we go into fall and winter, that's where I'm a little bit concerned about, just depression and different people of how they're going to cope with this.
Well, that's a good point, because how many months has it been now? So some people are locking themselves down more than others, but we're going into, it hasn't been a year, but we're going into a year where some people have been enclosed, kind of isolated off. Yeah, we're going out, and we are going out to our customers when we need to, but it's nowhere near how it used to be in terms, like, I go out of my house a couple times a week versus every single day, driving hundreds of miles a day. So it's a much different, I don't know what to do. Like, how do you got to get outside, I think they say at least go get some sun 10 minutes a day or something, walk outside the house. But how do you help all of your employees in that manner too?
I don't want this to be a technology conversation, but it's an interesting point. What you're saying, Brian, Brandon and Stephanie, is being looked at all levels right now. So I think just like last week, Microsoft announced it inspires some of the more I don't know what you would call it, peaceful type of functionality built into like Microsoft Teams, right? To replace that commute. And that was one of my posts this week. It actually got pretty good response. And so, the commute's gone. So what do you do about the time that you would mentally transition from this is my personal life and then my professional life, and now this is my professional life and then my personal life, home to work to home, right? And so they're trying to emulate certain functionality now in Microsoft Teams. And I'm not in tune to all software applications, but I'm certain that everyone's trying to, hey, you can meditate, or you can get it together mode, or you can emulate that that commute by I don't know whatever the functionality is because I haven't seen it just yet, but I just know about it. Has anybody else seen anything similar in other areas?
I think you hear that, right? Everybody's was saying before work-life balance, and there was a clear delineation of when you were at work and when you were at home before. Now it's completely skewed. So like for me, I didn't love driving because I was driving all the time. I was doing commuting to Miami frequently, but hey, I'm in the car. That was my time to listen to an audiobook. Like you said, kind of center yourself and get yourself ready for the day. And at the end of the day, wind down before I got home. And now I find I'm probably working more because work is just wherever I am now. It doesn't matter. So I think it's even more needed. I think those tools and trying to leverage that in the activity. And I like what Microsoft is doing now where they'll even, not to plug again a company like you said, but they give you some of these analytics, like what have you been doing today? How much screen, like look at your phone now and turn on the screen time thing, even if you're not locking yourself out of apps, but look at what you're really spending and how much time you're spending. And I'm trying to wind some of that stuff down because again, I'm always at work now. My home is my work, and it doesn't matter if I'm in the living room or back here now. It's so hard to separate that.
Does anybody think that just stinks? We just don't like that, or is that the trade-off for being able to work from home?
I think it's a tough pivot, right? I mean, for us, we know what we do. We as far as support, or whether we're prospecting, or whether we're trying to cross out, whatever it is that we're doing as owners. We can theoretically do that anywhere, right? We're rerunning our sales playbook, whatever it is we're doing, we can get that work done anywhere. So being able to pivot and I mean, I did this week. I did 2 prospect calls over Zoom. I mean, I've never done that before. People I haven't met before. I'm on with 6 or 7 people and just trying to sell. And it's. I mean, I don't like that. I'm a people person, but I like to sit down and engage. And then the last time I did that, we're all in mass, 7 feet apart at a conference table, and it's like, okay, this is no better.
Did you shake hands? Did anybody shake hands?
Oh.
Anybody do the stupid elbow bump thing? I hate that. Does anybody think? I don't want to derail us. Does anybody think if you sit down at a meeting and you start the meeting without shaking hands with people you just don't know, it's like wait a second, I just moved right into dessert. Where's the dinner?
Yeah.
It's like something was missing.
Well, then there's the awkward one where you go for the handshake, or they go for the handshake, and then they get the elbow, and it's just now it's just awkward.
Yeah. When you hug.
It's a sales dance, is what it is.
I hate starting meetings. You know what? I am myself becoming more productive at home, increasingly more, I should say, as time progresses. The last couple of days, Monday and Tuesday this week, usually it's like I come in on Monday, I come in on Friday, and I sandwich the week with I work the rest of the week from home. It was a good trade-off. But now I'm finding for myself that I'm actually being really productive, more than ever before, And honestly, I'm starting to work a little earlier and starting to work a little later, but taking little breaks here out through the day. Is anybody else or any of your customers doing similar?
I actually have a partner friend that's in the MSP business also, and he started doing a meditation program with his employees just to help them kind of get a little more in touch with reality.
Yeah.
And we're going to be looking into it.
That's a good idea, actually. You know what?
And it's an online tracking one, and I haven't found out entirely about it, but I was pretty intrigued about it. Little exercise breaks, meditations, just things to kind of help you get relaxed.
A lot of
so stressful right now.
The virtual happy hours. I see a lot of those going on, and they're still going on, and they're going pretty strong. I think, and that's kind of call it after work hours, but it's being done. They're engaging. They just have that FaceTime, and it may not be every week, maybe every other week, whenever it is. But the feedback I get from that is they all love it.
Can I say something about this happy hours? The idea of it, I thought was stupid. I mean, I just thought it was stupid.
Yeah. Yep.
Until until we had one with like 30 people from our group out of Nashville, right? We'll plug them, Robin Robbins Producers Club. Everybody that's an MSP should be a member, if you ask me, if you're qualified. But when we did our first happy hour, I went into it like, what is this going to be? This is going to be just kind of like, and I got to tell you what, it was almost Zen-like, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry, Brandon, you know, I took that from it. It was really different and somewhat cleansing, actually. So those happy hours, they work.
I kind of feel like too, though, we're all really missing more and more human interaction, honestly. So any way you can get it, you're feeling that. That's my opinion. And so, some of these vendors, like what we try to do with our guys and try to engage them in some of those happy hours, they do a pretty good job. I went to one where they actually had somebody making the drinks. There was a bartender. They sent some gear, and then we mixed it all together. I did a guacamole one recently as well. I'm the learning chair in EO, South Florida. And so we set up an event for all of our members, and one of the members owns a restaurant. So she made guacamole, margaritas, and we did a little thing together. You know, it was a short hour type of thing, but just connecting a little bit, you know, because you don't see these people anymore. You're losing touch and the ability to have that human contact. And Zoom is not that, but you know, it's better than nothing, it seems like.
So Dave Groot, I was going to lead into on my next question. You know, what's the number one work from home productivity challenge? But from what I'm hearing, and you know what, we all own technology businesses, right? So for us, our minds probably go right to technology first, but it sounds like that's not it. It's the challenge is that human interaction and how we're not getting that human interaction. It sounds to me what we're saying is that's the biggest challenge. Would you agree or disagree? David Groot? Is he frozen up, Stephanie? He looks like he might be frozen up.
I think he is.
That's okay. Somebody take the question.
What?
I can't hear.
Oh,
that's okay.
Well, here, let me.
Human interaction. Okay, so we got technology with human interaction. We got the abilities to work from home and have access to all of our stuff. Lots of different things that could be challenges in work from home. Who would say that, in their opinion, one of those is the highest? Any one of them, or something else?
I mean, I think human interaction is big for sure, especially around depression. But for me, the biggest issue is focus. Again, when you're at work, you're in your cube or your office or whatever it is. There's not necessarily somebody coming in all the time, your wife, your kids, whatever else is going on. People are now dealing with a lot of other dynamics. Like my son, his classroom is right next to me, right, throughout the morning. So it's a challenge. And I was at an event last week and they were talking about this and just how now there's so many attention grabbers all the time for you, especially when you're at home, that you just need to try and fight time to focus. And so whether that's blocking your calendar out, turning off notifications so you can focus time on, you know, what you really need to be focused on events like this. A lot of us have two monitors, right? So you're on a Zoom call, you're on a training, a lot of us have 2 or 3 monitors. And then I like look over the side to look at notes I might have, or I'm typing something, but it looks like you're not focusing on the people you're looking at. And so, maybe he's not really with me. So like if you're on a sales meeting, a recommendation was, hey, turn off that other monitor, put the notes on the same screen. The other thing is we're in this room all the time, like just to switch things up, go work in the living room for a little while and then come back, and it like just refreshes you, things like that, to kind of just be able to maintain that focus throughout the day, because we're getting so much screen time now, way more than ever, because these Zoom things, like you're on a Zoom meeting for hours at a time, or you're on one and then another hour you're on another, and then another hour you're on another, and then it's like never stopping. Versus before, like you said, Brian, you know, I'm in a sales meeting today, and then I'm going to meet my customer, and then I'm in this meeting, and then I'm doing a social, and then I'm over here at a training, and I'm shaking hands and seeing people. And like now while it's not your cell phone all day, but you're at the screen all day long.
And there's here right here.
Yeah. Which I'm standing up, you know. So I installed this at my house now because like I could not sit down anymore. I I got to get up and move. It's just driving me crazy. So I think focus is the number one. How do you keep your employees focused? How to keep your clients focused and engaged? It's a big problem for everybody.
Yep. And anyone else? David, Stephanie, Brian? Number one challenge in your opinion?
Well, I mean, aside from the technology, right, and we have solutions for all the technology issues. I think that outweighs anything else. At least it did. And then as people adapt to the changes or any security compromises and accept that this can't happen this way until this changes, and they can keep asking the same thing and realizing, okay, we can't do this, and coming up with new policies and procedures and assets, whatever it is for them. I'd have to agree with Brandon that focus definitely is probably one of the top ones right up there.
I agree. So we only got a few minutes left. Let's go ahead and reboot this now, right? Okay. So we've talked about the struggles, the challenges, and so on and so forth. What is the most important solution if you were to throw everything else away and you only had an option to do one thing, maybe two, you could say two. What would those two things be? Anyone? We don't have, you're muted, David. We'll get you. Such is live stream, Maybe technology today for David, right? That's okay. Stephanie, you got an opinion on how to reboot this? What do we do to solve the productivity challenge?
That's a good one. But balance, try to find the balance and not tech overload, too much.
So not tech overload, right?
Yeah,
that's interesting. Because that's interesting you say that, because the technology is what's making us capable of actually doing what we do. And yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it is tech overload. I mean, when you're at the office, you're shuffling around papers and you're doing all kinds of things, and you're dealing with other people going down the hall to grab a file or whatever it is. You're not doing that at home. You're stuck in front of the computer the whole time. So it is technology overload. Brandon, Brian? We'll reboot it. Give me the reboot.
For me, the biggest thing is really just trying to avoid multitasking as much as possible. All the notifications, everything, and trying to get focus. For me, focus means productivity and moving forward and getting things done. So whether that's blocking off calendar items, turning off the monitor and focusing on this, right, while I'm here with you guys, putting my cell phone down, turning notifications off, things that are just like trying to grab my attention constantly. There's a time and place on when I should be looking at that, and I should have the choice of when I want to take the time for that. So just trying to avoid multitasking whenever.
If you're naturally a person that struggles with focus, right? That's pretty hard.
Yeah.
I'm not the best at, serial thinking, a straight line. I usually parallelly, I'm like, I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll do this. And I work them forward.
I'm the one who has 3 tickets open at the same time. I'm trying to juggle, but the more you read about it, multitasking is really a myth. Your task switching, your productivity is really going down, or the overall outcome is going down in terms of the performance, because your focus is not there. You're not doing 100% at 3 tasks. You're doing 30% on all 3 of those tasks. And so what's the quality you're really getting?
I closed my email this morning from about 10 o'clock until just before our meeting, just so I could just fly through something that was really important for the meeting that I actually have right after this with a great group of people. And but had I not, I will be honest with you, Brian, tell me if you feel this. Man, I'm like, what's in that email? What's in that email? I know there's something in the email that I'm missing. It's just eating me.
I literally, before this call, I took my Outlook and I put it in work offline, because I don't want those distractions. And I'm just going to add off of what Brandon was saying. For me, productivity increasing, I'm talking about it from the other perspective. On my side, I think initially there was that when everyone went home, it was like, holy crap, is this going to work? What are we going to, how is this going to work out? We have no idea. We didn't know what to expect. And, I look at it, these guys each have 3 monitors. They have great stand-up desk here. Everything's great, right? But now they're working from home on whatever equipment they have, and they're getting the job done. So kudos to the employees for stepping up and making it happen. So that's it reevaluated how I perceive things, and what it exceeded my expectations.
I think that if there was a problem area, we're trying to get Dave Group back. Let me see if I can add him in here. Dave, are you there? Yeah, you're moving again. We'll take that guy.
I'm here.
We lost Rob.
Yeah, I got to put him back.
Yeah, we're having some.
Add away.
Hey, one thing I want to throw in real quick. I've been burning up to speak, and I haven't been able to get in. But I just want to say we've seen with a couple of our clients that there's been a great appreciation on the part of their staff for their willingness to accommodate and try and put in hardware and set up processes and ways for these folks to keep their jobs and to work remote. So that in itself has been a huge positive gain. Aside from that, I'll keep my mouth shut. Thank you very much.
Well, we had you keeping your mouth shut for quite a while there. We want you to talk now. You got a lot to add. No, you know what? My staff, look, I got a great staff, and most of us have great staffs, and we appreciate them. But here's what I'm going to say about it. If you had a problem employee, that problem didn't go away, right? Yeah, we got to jump. So, okay, but that problem didn't go away, And the good news is that hopefully maybe it helped a little bit. So
it probably got magnified, honestly.
Yeah, you're seeing it. You're seeing it, right? All right. Well, listen, these guys are up against a clock here. We appreciate you guys joining from Nashville. That was Stephanie, Dave, and David actually joined from Nashville. I'm on my way here in about an hour and a half, guys. So I'll see you tonight. Okay. For the Reboot crew, guys, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you have information to reboot on. So thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Take care, all.
Have a great day, guys.
Have a great
We'll
day,
see you guys.
We'll see
you guys.